Hello folks, I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Y'all come on in, make yourself comfortable. Today we're going to turn a honey dipper. Yeah, not a terribly difficult project. It's great for beginners. It's also a great skill builder for those of us that have been turning for a while, just to get back to the basics. And if there's a tool that you want to be using and that you hadn't been using, the small projects like that is a great time to practice using that tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me show you what we've got. Today I have a piece of mahogany on the lathe. It's about 10.5 inches long. So out of that we're going to come in and we're going to make us a honey dipper that's going to be somewhere around 8.5 inches long. Again, I don't get real particular on the sizes. This is a 1-inch dowel of mahogany that I picked up, I believe at Woodcraft or somewhere like that had them on sale, and got it for next to nothing. So it's been sitting here in the shop for a while. It's about time we put it to use. So I'll put me a mark right there. That's 8.5 inches. We may come in a little bit either side of that line, but it gives us a good idea where we're at. And we're going to go ahead and mark off 1.5 inches there for the dipper part. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put on my face shield, and we're going to mark these. So let's go ahead and turn the lathe on. Get us some rough marks there, just so we kind of have some idea of where we're going. And I'm going to start off with a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lathe speed up a little bit. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and rough that in just a little bit there. Go ahead and get the basic shape of a honey dipper. Again, at this point, we're just really trying to get everything in the basic shape. And we're going to come in with a 1/16 inch wide parting tool. And let's talk about that just a little bit. When we're making our cuts, we're going to start with the back of the parting tool high, so the nose is low, and once we start the cut we're going to bring it up. It'll start cutting, then push it in and bring it back up to make the final cut there. So just watch what we're doing here. A lot of folks are going to come in like this. We're going to bring it down. What that does is it keeps from tearing out that first little bit there. Once we've got just a little bit of a cut there, then we can bring the handle down, start to cut, and come right back in. Let's do that again so you can see it. And basically we want that center shaft at the bottom of those cuts to be fairly even. So again, up, start it, come down, hopefully that will help you guys, and what it'll do is it'll eliminate a lot of that tear out that you can get when you first start a parting tool. We're going to call that good. We're going to come right back in here with our skew. And just smooth up that cut. Now one of the things is I cut that with that skew, it really doesn't need sanding, but what I like to do is maybe take some 220 and just kind of fold it over and go right in between those cracks, and it just rounds over that little hard edge there just a little bit. So I don't know if you guys can see what I did there or not, but it just takes the sharp edge off of that right there. Now we're pretty much finished with that. Let's go ahead and start towards the handle. This is an area where you can get some great practice with whatever tool that it is that you're wanting to work on. This is a 1/2-inch spindle gouge. And really all we're doing right now is just kind of taking down So at that point, we're pretty much done with this part down here. What we've got to do is decide what we want to do with our handle. So let's go in and we'll reduce this down up here. Again, we've got a lot of wood to waste away. It's a 1-inch dowel, and Lord knows we don't want a 1-inch handle. A quick way to waste wood away is with a roughing gouge. And a roughing gouge will do just fine, taking that wood down really fast. Another tool that will take the wood down pretty fast is a skew, and let's just look at that. We'll do a peeling cut where we basically anchor the skew on the tool rest. We'll come back, it starts to cut, we just raise the handle. Again, anchor, raise the handle. As you raise the handle, it takes the wood off really fast. Another thing you can do is just take your spindle gouge and come in and do some cuts. And one of the things about this is it gets you really accustomed to moving your body. So what I'm doing is I'm going to anchor the tool, hit the bevel, start cutting, and I'm just moving my body as I'm cutting. Again, folks, these are the kind of projects that you can practice those skills and you don't really realize what you get out of it. But you start getting on something that's a little more detailed, or you need those skills, they just naturally come right back to you. Okay, so we're going to put just a little ball on the end of this one. And at this point, we're connecting the two ends. So we're just going to kind of taper that from the middle down to those two ends. And speaking of practicing with tools, this is a great time for you folks that would like to be better with skews. Pick up the skew and let's practice with it. Again, there's a lot of folks a lot better than me with the skew, but I'm a lot better than I was not too long ago simply because I practiced with it. Okay, let's take our spindle gouge, perfectly designed for making this little curve in here, and even that out. And now we're going to take that skew and we're going to do the same thing right here. We're just going to even that out. Now folks, we've basically got our honey dipper done. We're looking pretty good. We want to get ourselves a little bit closer to parting it off here, and then we're going to do a real quick sanding job. So let's go ahead and we'll start with, let's start with 220. Be careful that you don't sand your detail out there. It goes away much quicker than you think it might. Okay, we're going to hit it with a little 320. Okay, and folks, I'm just going to hit this with just a little bit of shavings, just kind of burnish that in just a little bit. I don't really do a lot of finish on honey dippers. I never really saw much reason to put a finish on them and then dip them in my honey. So we'll let you see what this looks like, and maybe this works for you and maybe it doesn't. Just that quick, you've got a honey dipper ready to go. Let's go ahead and part it off. We'll slow the lathe down just a little bit and we'll go ahead and take it right on off right here. And folks, once we get it that thin, we can just take a little knife here, cut that off. You got very little sanding in there. We do have a few shavings in the dipper. Those are easy enough to blow out with air or to push out with a little knife as far as that goes. This end back here, again, we were so close. Just a little bit with a knife. If you want to, you can even take you some 220. Just a little bit of sanding there, and you're good to go. The same on the other end. And again, you're good to go with a honey dipper. Folks, these are simple little projects. It doesn't take any time at all to make one. And as you see, you can use a lot of tools, a lot of skills. So whether you're a beginner and just getting started in turning, or you've been turning for years, get on the lathe, turn a honey dipper. It's a blast. It'll remind you of some of those skills maybe you forgot, and if you're new, it'll help you to learn them. And everybody loves a honey dipper. Folks, if you like what you saw today, go down, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, comment, tell me what you thought about the video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.